midday. Be sure to tune to The Shift Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. with Joinae Gibson on Glory 93.9 FM. The freshest wave of glory to hit the Bahamas.
It's a great afternoon here on Glory 93.9 FM. It is 12:30, so you know exactly what that means. You are tuned in. You are locked and loaded on The Shift with yours truly, Joinae Gibson. Listen, I am always, y'all know, absolutely always willing to bet my bottom dollar that there is nothing like a smooth transition into the midday. Oh my word. If for all of those watching, if you know today's show and you may be tuned in via Glory 93.9 FM. You may be watching on Facebook. You may be a new person here. Thank you for always keeping it locked and loaded. I want to read a scripture in light of, Love Week. And it's taken from John chapter 15, reading only verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man would lay down his life for his friends. I'm going to read it again, and that's John 15 and 13. And it says, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And I'm thinking about, hey, how you doing? I'm thinking about how many of us are willing, let's just make it very natural. How many of us are willing to lay down our life for a friend? How many of us would lay down willing to die for a friend? Hey Ashley, how you doing? And I promise you, I really observed the scripture at least 1,000 times, right? But Jesus was trying to tell his disciples, listen, your love should be so strong for one another that you're willing to die. And that is what I'm about to do for you. He was preparing them for his crucifixion. He was preparing them for his death. And I think about how so many times we hear, even in regards to friendships, that we are quick to let go of friends or quick to recycle friends when they are not benefiting us anymore, when they are not helpful to our journey anymore, or when we feel like their season is up. And I'm looking at the way Jesus would say, this is something that I would do for a friend. And I want to ask you a question. What is it that you're willing to do for the one that you love? What is it that you're willing to do? And, we talk about love, and it sounds so good, so cliche, but what are you really willing to give up? He said, listen, I want you to love just as I love. Oh my God. You know something? I'm just going to leave that right there and let that sit. And I'm going to read it one more time. John 15 and 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man would lay down his life for his friends. Not one, plural. He said his friends, plural. My God. I'm officially calling for you, the shifter. Yes, the shifter. wherever you are, know that you are shifting. You are in your car, you are on YouTube, you may be watching on Facebook, you may be locked all the way in already in the comments. I want to say hello to you. If you know anyone that is in need of a shift in their mind, in their spirit, even concerning the way they love their friends and themselves, let them tune into today's show. Tag them in the comments. I encourage you, spread the word about the shift because we are going all the way in today. Invite someone, like and share the show. If you haven't already, now listen, if you haven't already, you can follow myself and Glory 93.9 FM on all social media platforms. It's in the comment section. All of the information you need to know. Tag someone, call them, WhatsApp them. Hey Joinae, how you doing? I want you to be intentional about who you invite for today's show because we are really going to have a great conversation today. If you are unable to chime in the comment section, maybe you're driving or at work, you cannot engage, that is perfectly fine. But for those who are ready and locked and loaded, I have the call and text lines ready for you. They are in the caption and on your screen. The call line today is 242-827-2543. Once again, it's in the caption and on the bottom of your screen. 242-827-2543. And of course, the text line is 242-817-2544. I want to see you guys tagging some people in the comments, man. Yeah. Hey Ashley, how you doing? Hey Crystal, how you doing? Ariane, how you doing? I pray you're having an amazing day. Joinae, how are you? Listen, y'all already locked in. I want you to please tag someone in the comments so we can get into today's show. And I'm so excited for today's topic. Once again, the call line, y'all know when I say this what I really mean, right? The call line is 242-827-2543 and the text line is 242-817-2544. Okay, now it's Love Week, and you know, there are a lot of things that we're going to see on social media. It's Love Week, and you know, Valentine's Day is coming up, and it is a time of celebration of love for, you know, for couples, etc. And I think that it's important to also address the psychological effects of Valentine's Day, you know, depending on the individual experiences and circumstances. For some, you know, Valentine's Day may serve as a source of joy and connection, you know, strengthening bonds with love. But for some, it may, you know, remind them of feelings of loneliness and isolation and unworthiness. You may find yourself watching social media very closely. WhatsApp statuses, you know, the matching pajamas, the dinner dates, the bouquet of flowers, the gifts, you know, the singograms on your job, the proposals, the weddings, you know, in some cases, gender reveal. But today, I want to talk to you about rebuilding and finding yourself. Rebuilding and finding yourself. When we take a look at finding yourself, it is a matter of self-discovery. Self-discovery is a process of learning about yourself, including your abilities, your character, your feelings, and beliefs. It can help you understand what you want out of life to live a more fulfilling life, right? Now, as believers, we constantly hear the love your neighbor as yourself. But I'm finding it difficult based on, you know, observation that many cannot love their neighbors correctly because they don't know who they are. You don't know how to love yourself. You don't know what it is about yourself that you love the most, or, you know, you haven't fully tapped into that self discovery, that total process of learning about yourself, about your character and your feelings, and the way you process things. You find yourself trying to love other persons without really knowing who you are. Hey Nay, how you doing? And today I want to really address rebuilding. Now, when we started, this year out the gate 2025, we talked about rebranding. And rebranding has a lot to do with, putting yourself out there, the external, the way you are perceived in the world. But when you talk about rebuilding, it targets the internal areas. Good afternoon, Pastor Carmen. How you doing? Pastor Carmen Cornish, how are you? Right? Rebuilding usually targets aspects internally, like personal growth and addressing weaknesses. So when we compare rebuilding to rebranding, they are two separate entities. When you rebrand, it is you working on the exterior based on how you want to be perceived in the world. But when you talk about rebuilding and, it is totally dealing with the internal aspects, dealing with personal growth, addressing weaknesses. I have it's long, but I have a quote here that I saw on TikTok, right? And it says the reason why people don't become who they want is because they are too attached to who they have been. People say, I've always been this way, but it is not working. I want to ask you a question today. What version of yourself are you refusing to let go to embrace the new one that you are in now? What rebuilding is in progress that is causing you, thank you, Pastor, thank you, likewise. What is it that is stopping you from moving to the next level? And man, when we think about rebuilding, in order for something to be rebuilt, it has to be torn down. Is it the fact that we don't want to tear down our old self? Is that the reason why we can't love our neighbors correctly? Because if we are to love our neighbors as ourselves and we don't love ourselves, what does that really look like? It said the reason why people don't become who they want. So you have a desire to become a particular person. You have this vision of yourself, your destiny, your trajectory. You have that mapped out in your mind, in your brain. You have, your vision board. She says, the reason why people don't become who they want, it is because they are too attached to who they have been. You know that, man, Avita, you're already on it. You know that feeling of, okay, I've always been this way. I've always been this person that always, looked out for everyone except me. I've always been this person that, I always try to take care of everyone else's needs except mine. I've always been, we don't want to let go of that version. Evita said something so powerful. She said, the fear of being exposed and vulnerable. Right on it. We don't want to. And there is something so vulnerable about being on display while rebuilding, while things are being torn out of your life. And if we like our paint the paint off when they want to repaint, or breaking out a wall to cause some kind of expansion, that house or that building never looks good. It never looks like what the end result is. And Evita says, listen, the fear of being exposed and vulnerable is what has us in a chokehold. Okay. Before rescuing others, you must first rescue you. If we really analyze why we are so fearful in reconstructing, why we are so fearful about, you know, things not going our way. And I feel that this next point really helps with that. A lot of reconstruction requires deconstruction, and that deconstruction must take place in your mind. Getting rid of those negative thoughts, getting rid of the mistakes that you made, the mistakes that are plaguing you, literally plaguing you, that shame and embarrassment. To deconstruct those negative thoughts every time you try to progress forward, every time you make up in your mind, watch it, there is a pattern, there is a cycle. Every time you make up in your mind, listen, I am going to let this go. I'm going to let go of that shame. I'm going to forgive myself of the mistakes that I made. I'm going to forgive myself of those past traumas and those past hurt, those things that really plague me at night, the things that, you know, the things that you can't even say aloud, the things that you refuse to repeat. Oh my Jesus. That is what reconstruction looks like. Deconstructing that thought process, deconstructing that negative mentality, deconstructing the way you viewed yourself. There are a lot of persons, and you are listening today, that you are battling with shame and not forgiving yourself. And the main components I feel in reconstruction is forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. And we talk about it a lot where, we want to forgive the person that wronged us, or we want to forgive this person, or we want to forgive that person. But after you've already given your apology, after you've already, did the whole 9 yards of your, forgiveness ritual, you are still left with you, and you haven't forgiven you. And that's the reason why we constantly find ourselves in cycles, year after year, month after month, week after week, day after day. Pastor Carmen Corner says, you have to constantly renew your mind, deconstruct those negative thoughts, and really be okay with not being that old version of yourself. I think about, let's say you're renting an apartment or renting a space, and you know everything on the internet now, and you have wallpapers that have patterns, or you have the things that you put on the floor that looks like tile or looks like wood, and there is still that old tile or that wood under it. And after you finish, and this is the rebrand, because you coming out the gate hot, everything look good, you change your whole look, your makeup, your hair, everything on you looks brand new, and you have plastered the floors with the sticky thing. I don't have the right name, but that thing that you put on the floor that makes it look like wood or makes it look like tile. And eventually, after enough traffic in that home or in that space, you can see, oh my Jesus, you can see the vinyl. Thank you, I got it. The vinyl that you put on, you can see the tile, the old tile showing. And that's what's happening with many, that we are putting down these vinyls, the makeup, the hair, the nails, the lashes. And after enough traffic, after enough mind bouts, after enough, trying to constantly renew your mind, but you're not really convinced, after enough of that, we're going to still see that old tile, because you refuse to demolish it, because you refuse to dig up that old tile. What is that old tile to you today? What does that look like for you? Like I said, does it look like, you know, not forgiving yourself, battling battling shame, battling, these thoughts that just make you feel so inadequate, that make you feel like you're not enough, that make you feel like you're not worthy of love. And even as we are in this love week, preparing for Valentine's Day, you you that old tile is regret. You figured by now that your life would be a particular way. You figured by now that you would be much further. If you really look at it, and if you're really honest with yourself, there are some things that you have a home that your roof is leaking, but you decide just to paint and do all the landscaping. Outside, everyone may marvel at your, oh my God, this is a beautiful house. But when we go in, the roof is leaking. The cupboards, all the cupboards falling down. That is what what we look like when we try to paint over that unforgiveness, and not when it comes to other people, but just really not forgiving you. I feel that a major part as well of reconstructing and, really being intentional about the way you are going to move forward in this year is understanding your value. When you understand your value, you move, man, you move different in life. Understanding value is the way to become more self aware. And we talk about this all the time on the shift, right? You make better decisions. When you understand your value, not just the value of something, when you understand your value, it helps you live a happier life. If you notice, and I want you to pay close attention to you. I don't want you to watch no one else. Pay close attention to you. Every year around Valentine, you get depressed. Every year you start to spiral. You start to go down this rabbit hole of, oh my God, I will never this and that. You know, and you go in on yourself, and it really goes back to really understanding your value and what you bring to the table. When you understand your value, your actions align with that. You don't wait for someone to prove your value. You don't wait for someone to tell you that you are valuable. You know what you bring to the table. And I find that a lot of times, man, listen, and we make memes about it and we crack joke, we don't take that serious, right? But let's really get down. Crystal says, gotta gut it out. Let's really gut out the real reason why you don't understand your true value. Hey, Miss Daisy, how you doing? You don't really know how you can know that you don't understand your value. Yes, Crystal. I need to. I'm gonna pull that up. You your actions are contradicting your appearance. You appear confident. You appear that you know your value. But certain decisions that you are making, certain decisions, I saw a post. Oh man, I saw a post that says, learning to forgive myself and take care of the person I am today. Learning to forgive myself and take care of the person that I am today. A lot of times we are stuck in the old. We are stuck in the shame, and I want to read this definition to you. A painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. You are so stuck on that mistake that you made that it is altering your value. You feel that because you had that baby out of wedlock, watch it now, because you made that poor decision, because you move presumptuously, because you are battling that shame, it is stopping your reconstruction. Understanding value, don't get me wrong, understanding value not is not only saying that you value yourself, but when your actions align with what you believe is important. Man, Crystal, you right on it. Crystal says shame and regret. You are regret, man. Listen, let's just stick a pin right there. You are battling with the regret. Oh man. Some things you wish you didn't do. Some things you, if you had the time machine, you would go back and really undo some things. And you are internalizing that. Oh Jesus. You are internalizing that, and that is hindering your forward movement. A commenter says, constantly beating myself up. It was so unhealthy. When we internalize that shame and that regret, to self-awareness as well, when you really can acknowledge the role that you played but not stay there. Acknowledging something and staying there are two different things. When you acknowledge that, it's not for you to hold on to it. It's not, you know, and especially in this day and age, while battling shame and regret, when everything is on social media and people constantly repost and have their comments and have, their opinions to what you are going through, that can be difficult as well. Hmm. What is it that you are holding on to? Hmm. How you see yourself and how you value yourself impacts all areas of your life. That's including relationships, your career, your social life. To earn the love and respect for others, watch this, you must first learn to love and appreciate yourself. What good is it you don't love yourself and expect persons to love you correctly? Man, listen, man, I could feel y'all because this is something that really needs to be unpacked. And I'm reminded of a show we did sometime last year here on the shift about having accountability. And we can be accountable. A part of self love is being accountable. But what is that old tile that you refuse to dig up? Mm. Mm. Evita says, it's like the stages of grief. We will never get to the new version until you hit that acceptance. You have to accept it. Not only that, accept it, deal with it, and move on. It makes no sense. And if you really look at it, anytime, and I know someone has experienced this before, anytime you say, okay, I'm moving forward, brand new me, rebrand, I'm not gonna be depressed, I'm not gonna do this, and I really dig up these old stuff. It's almost as if you are reliving that experience over and over and over again. What is that old tile? What is that area that you decided to cover up with vinyl, with makeup, with lashes, with extensions, with lace front? No, listen, your lace front laid, lace wear. What is what is that covering up? I know you're talking back to me. What are you really covering up? I'm even considering, you know, as we approach Valentine, the kind of effect that has on every relationship, every that's friendship, work, your dating, family, marriage, you know, and based on and now based on how we are moving, we know you don't really love yourself like that. We know that there is some disconnect. I have a quote here that says, how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. I'll let that sink in. All right. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. Could it be the reason that we are not experiencing the kind of love that we feel that we deserve? It is because it's not within us. You have to love yourself. Oh man, you have to love yourself more than the need to be loved by people. If you are always concerned about other people loving you more than you actually love yourself, it won't work. Don't get me wrong. Loving yourself is different from self-care, you know. I'm not doing other things, but when you love you, and it sounds so selfish, you make decisions for you, for your well-being. Loving yourself means choosing every day to let go of that shame, to let go of that bitterness, to let go of that regret, to let go of those, negative, self limiting thoughts, to reconstruct your mind, to demolish that old version of yourself. What is it that is hindering? And maybe you can answer this question. What is it that is hindering us from really tearing everything down, that old version of ourselves? And I want to hear your comments. Of course, for those listening today, the call line is open. It is 242-827-2543. Once again, 242-827-2543, and the text line is 242-817-2544. And before we move any further, I have some great news for you. Angelica McIntosh is presenting her first, a single entitled My Love, and it's a concert and talk, right? It is hosted by Bishop Trent Davis, and it is on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 7 p.m. The doors open at 6 p.m. $25 in advance and $30 at the door. All are welcomed. They have panel discussions, empowering conversations, entertainment, questions, answers, prophetic prayers, and declarations for marriages, families. They have special guests, Miss Dynamite Daisy, E-Man, Antonio Thompson, Terrell Tinker, Anna Kalitz, you're back. Man, listen, you don't want to miss it. All happening at Bahamas. Make sure I have it right. Oh Lord Jesus. Bahamas Christian Fellowship. That's on Carmichael Road. Once again, February 14th. You don't want to miss it. Please, My Love Concert and Talk. Angelica McIntosh is releasing her new single entitled My Love, and it will be available on all digital platforms. Please, please, please. You can't say you don't know about it. You heard it here first. I have all of the great news, all of the listen. Don't 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 miss it. Don't miss it. On Facebook, for those on Facebook, the flyer is on the screen, but you can feel free to check her page out and get more information as time goes by. But even in that same vein about love, what's really happening? Why is it difficult to deconstruct that old version of yourself? And I want to hear your comments. Please let me know. Why is it difficult to deconstruct that old version of yourself? Every year around this time, you battle with depression or battle with certain negative thoughts. Tell me. I really want to have this conversation with you. Of course, the call and text lines in the caption, in the comments, and on your screen. The call line is 242-827-2543. And the text line is 242-817-2544. Ooh. Crystal says, caught up in the past. Crystal, you mind explaining some more, please? I get what you're saying, but I want you to go a little further. Thank you, Monique. I pray you're having an amazing day. The question is, what is it that is causing us to not want to deconstruct that old version of ourselves? You know, when we talk about self-love and finding ourselves again, what is it that we, not really what, but why are we refusing to let go of that old version? Crystal says, caught up in the past, and I agree, but I want to hear some more on that. I see y'all watching. Please tell me, what do you think about Crystal? Oh my word. Arion, I need you to explain that for me, please. Crystal says, every time you try to move on and be who you know you can be, your past makes you get imposter syndrome. Crystal, you know, I had to pull up the definition right. And I wanna explain this because we dealt with this on the shift already. It is the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved. Oh man, oh man. Holy Ghost. I'm going to start over, and I'm still on Crystal's comment. Crystal says, every time you try to move on, the question is, it's that old version of ourselves. Crystal says, every time you try to move on and be who you know you can be, your past makes you get imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is the persistent, aka constant, inability to believe that your success or one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own effort or skills. In other words, you can't believe it's you. You feel like this have to be somebody else, and let me go back to the version of myself that I know. Let me go back to the version of myself that I can control, because me walking in who I know I can be is too scary, because I haven't discovered this version of me yet. It's uncharted. It's never been discovered before. I've never been this way before. I've never been in this arena before. I've never been on this avenue before. And this causes the imposter syndrome. It is the persistent inability. You cannot believe that you have achieved something. Not only that, that you've achieved it legitimately because of your skill, because of your wit, because of your intelligence, because of your dedication, because of your sacrifice. Man, let's talk it. Ariane says, too familiar. Please explain that a little bit more. Ooh. Evita says, we hate to lose what we think we built or what we, quote, worked so hard for. But honestly, what we have to show, scars? Ouch. Jesus be offense. Let's really get to the first line. We hate to lose what we think we built. Let's park right there. Because you've already spent so much time and invested so much time, and I don't want you to think about anybody else. I want you to think about you. Because you have invested so much time in this version of yourself, you refuse to let it go. Okay. We work so hard to get to this point when this level can't compare to the level that you should be on. Okay. Ariane says, we're too comfortable in that state and don't know what to expect when we let go. Yes, that's the fear of the unknown. Fear of, even being seen trying. Says, good evening. You have to let go of your old self and put in the work that is necessary to become the best version of yourself. I agree, but my question is, why is it difficult to let that go? What is it that is in us that say, you know something? Turn around, wrong direction. I agree, Mr. Melbourne. I agree. We have to put in the work. Ooh. Crystal says, am I actually changed or better or deserving? Because someone who been through what I've been through shouldn't get to move forward. My God, shouldn't get to move forward for real. Am I an imposter? Do I really deserve this? And you know, Crystal, reading that, you know what that makes me think of, where you are in a moment. Let's say a great moment of success, and then when you sit down, it feels like a dream. Like it feels like a daze. You cannot remember, or you are so crippled by that moment that you don't enjoy the moment, if that makes sense. You can't believe that you, based on all that you went through, based on, and everyone has their prediction of how they think your life is going to go. And even in moving forward, you can consider what other persons try to project on you. Whew. I skip it, but I'm gonna get to this. Crystal says, "Let me sit myself down before others sit me down." Right, because I don't want to be embarrassed. Evita says, "Afraid of change," and I feel like this is one of the main ones as well. Afraid of change. Man, listen. Or too, it's like, what if I don't like this new version of myself? Or what if the people around me don't like who I become or I'm becoming? What if I have to let go and deconstruct my my pattern, the way I think, the way I process, the way I interpret? Sometime last week here on the shift, we talked about, oh God, how we perceive and our perception, right? And based on the things that you would have went through causes it changes your lens, it changes the way you look at life. And could it be that your, and I think I have the right one, perception, because your perception of yourself is off, it causes you to spiral like that. Hmm. Evita also says comparison. Yes. And a part of that too, when we compare to other persons, right? One, they were successful, and then you say things like, "Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to." Boy, she really strong. I don't know if I could. Mm. And then the comparison of, well, I watch this person attempt what I'm trying to do, and they failed at it. That comparison is dangerous. Crystal says, yes, you have to put yourself back in the box, back in your place, at bay. I must keep myself at bay because, first of all, self, you doing too much. It reminds me of the quote that says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. When you consider the power, oh Jesus, that you truly carry, that is what has you afraid. That is what cripples you. That is what causes you not to want to deconstruct that version of yourself, because that is the version of yourself that you can control. That is the version of yourself that loves to please people. That is the version of yourself that loves to take on the projection of others. That is the version of yourself that is just doing bare minimum. That is the version of yourself that loves to quiet quit. That is the version of yourself that anytime you see an obstacle, anytime you see some kind of hindrance, anytime you see some kind of blockage, you give up. That is the version of yourself that you love to have the pity party. You love to say the woe is me. That is the version of yourself that you refuse to get rid of because you are comfortable. Crystal says, because things going a little too good for me, I don't deserve this. You finally get in a relationship and you say, man, this man, he love me too much. Hey, something off. Hey. You start looking for everything, perception. And just what you look for is what you can find. Hiya. Holy Ghost. It's dangerous. Okay. Oh, that's it right here. Crystal says, Crystal says, let me throw my past in my face so when other people do it, it doesn't hurt as much. You replay all that you went through from 1900. Can't let it go. Can't deconstruct that negative thought process. It's not, I mean, I would say, okay, it's just towards people, but you have a bad mind about yourself because you don't understand your value. You don't understand what it is that you really carry. You don't understand that, listen, the more I love myself, the truer I am to myself. People will, listen, when you are confident, and I watched this video about, I think it was a man really talking about how he would target females with low self esteem, with low self worth. low self value. And the things that he described was so wild because you think that the makeup and the hair is covering it up when it's really just highlighting it. Avita says, yeah, but do you, hold on, yeah, but do you like the you now? Crystal says, it's literally self inflicted harm. Correct. Avita says, Gave off listening to all the sad songs and crying. My God. Yes, because Crystal says, yes, because why I've been so happy recently? Imposter syndrome. Today, if you find yourself in any of these that we described, that we talked about, if you find yourself, you know, having difficulty deconstructing that old version of yourself, you may be a mother, you may be a wife, you may be a girlfriend, you may be a friend, you may be a boyfriend, you may be a husband, and you feel that, you know, you can't find yourself. You are not being loved correctly, or you're not loving yourself correctly. Today's show is for you. I admonish you. Get rid of that imposter syndrome. Get rid of it. And I want to read that definition one more time. It is the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved correctly. Constantly affirm yourself. I'm worthy of love. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of kindness. I am proud of how far I've come. My flaws makes me beautiful. To be happy. I choose to let go of that shame. I choose to let go of that regret. I choose to forgive myself of that bad decision that I made that altered my life. I choose to not live in this daze like I don't deserve all of the good things that are happening to me. I want to love my neighbor, but my issue is I don't love myself. If you find yourself in that state today, please, I invite you, rewatch this show. Something somewhere in here helped you. Even some of the previous shows talking about, perception and perspective and self-love and self-esteem and, alchemizing that pain, alchemizing that regret, that feeling that you are feeling. When you alchemize that hurt and you alchemize that pain, you look that disappointment, you look that hurt in the face and you say, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What is it that this situation is trying to teach me? What is what am I missing in this? Is there a lesson in what I am going through? Scripture reminds us that all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Everything that you may be battling with, everything that you are facing is we go through nothing by happenstance. Even if you feel that it was a mistake, it was sent or designed to teach you something. Constantly talk to yourself, constantly build your mind, constantly pull down those negative thoughts. If you find yourself slipping and saying, something, you feel like you deal with that imposter syndrome, talk to yourself. I deserve this. I deserve to be in the moment. I deserve to smile. I deserve to, receive gifts and give gifts. Wherever you find yourself today, I want to encourage you. These shows every time here on the shift, it is never to judge, it is never to bash, but always to bring awareness and to cause you to really look deep within do some introspection. Our time today, yes, Mr. Melbourne. He says, renew your mind with the word of God. And you know something? Thank you, Mr. Melbourne. You allowed me to remember a thought. If you are struggling with the way you see yourself, ask God to help you see yourself the way He sees you. Once you get into or have that view, much more easier. K Forbes says, yes, I deserve forgiveness. Let it go. This was a real topic. Thank you. Today, our time has come and gone, but listen, it's not your only opportunity to have this conversation with me and to, just really let go of that old tile that you refuse to dig up. You can catch me every Monday through Friday, same time, same place, favorite station with your favorite person, and that is 12:30 right here on The Shift on Glory 93.9 with your host, Joinae Gibson. Until next time, please don't forget to like and share the show. Tag persons in the comments, Mr. Melbourne. Say, see you tomorrow. Yes, see you tomorrow, Mr. Melbourne. And always remember that you deserve all of the good things. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be forgiven. You deserve all of it. You are worthy of it. And don't you ever forget it. Thank you always for keeping it locked and loaded. See you tomorrow.
I'll be committed to you. I'll never leave you. Nothing in this world could make me walk away. No matter what life may bring, I'll be by your side. No matter what you face, you won't be lonely. Because forever is a long time. That's how long I love you. That's how long I love you. Forever. Forever is a long time. That's how long I love you. That's how long I love you. Forever. No matter what life may bring, I'll be by your side. No matter what you face, you'll never be